everybody, welcome. Round 5, footy wide, that's right, we're into 5 rounds now, Millie. Five rounds, this is the 5th round. We've had a few good results last week. One in particular was fantastic because someone finally got off the board. And there's still a couple of teams that have not lost, which is also great. So first of all, let's start off the round. Let's welcome my co-host Millie. Hello Millie, good to see ya. Alright, so everyone excuse that little fly that's flying around if you can't see it, by the way. Let's look at round 4 results first. So Pickles Yum Yum still has not won a game in their first season of footy wide. They lost to Trust the Process 282-327. Sugar Daddies, well, they lost their first game of the year. They lost to Top Guns 298.5 to 323.5. Rangers, Anonymous, and Gods of Olympus. Gods of Olympus stay undefeated. They defeated Rangers Anonymous 365 to 317.5. I don't like these 0.5s, by the way. Anyway, Maltese Falcons, they lost, got smashed by Second Destroy, and have been smashed in injuries this week as well. They 428 to 316 Second Destroy, also stay undefeated. And finally, in a very, very close game, probably the closest of the season so far, Renegades 377.5, left on rolling without a win so far this season, 374.5. So let's have a look at the last week's team of the week. I think for the 3rd or 4th week in a row, Ben Brown's the full forward of the week. He got 41 points. Half forward was Jerry Cameron, 56. Utility, Brody Grundy had a fantastic game last week. He got 123.5. Jack McRae, 65. Still Sidebottom had a great game as a follower. He got 74. Max Gorn as a ruck, 71. Ineffective, very ineffective. And Michael Hurley, 65 as a halfback. And finally, as a tackler, was Clayton Oliver with 74. So let's go to the ladder. After 4 rounds, as mentioned, 2 teams yet to taste defeat. That's Second Destroy. They on points 4 are over Gods of Olympus. They're both 4-0. Top Guns are sitting 3rd outright with 3-1. Then there's a host of teams on 2-2. They're Renegades, Maltese Falcons, Rangers Anonymous, and Sugar Daddies. Trust the Process, first win last week. They're 1-3, and so far bottom of the ladder. I'm rolling 0-4, and Sir Pickles Yum Yum holds the rest of us up in his first season. He's on 0-4 as well. Alright, so let's move on to round 5, Melly. Thank you. Good work. Alright, so let's have a look now. First game, once again, Trust the Process is the first team on the fixture every week. It's Trust the Process versus Sugar Daddies. It's 8th versus 7th. Big game. One's 1-3, one's 2-2. Let's have a look at the form ladder. Well, Trust the Process got their first win last week and 3 losses, while Sugar Daddies have faced 2 losses in a row. So let's have a look at it. Ben Brown full forward up against Horacio Fantasia. Michael Walters at half forward against Lance Franklin. Jared Lyons is the utility. He's up against Robbie Gray. Paddy Dangerfield is a midfield against Elliot Yeo. Scott Selwood, he's up against Sean Higgins in the midfield in the followers. The 2 rucks is Sandlands and Goldstein. The halfbacks this week, James Sicily and Jeremy Howe. Tacklers, Brett Ebert versus Luke Dowhouse. There's obviously interchanges and substitutions this week because don't forget, these are all squads. Some of these teams might not be chosen yet, but these are the teams that's chosen at the moment. Plus, Melbourne, Richmond, Collingwood, and Essendon teams have not even been picked or named yet. So yeah, so obviously a few to choose from there. Dane Zolko has got a substitution. Petrarca's interchange for Trust the Process. Alex Ranson come in. Hannah can come in. As for Sugar Daddies, well, they've got a few injuries now. Eddie Betts is going to be out for a while. Josh Kelly's still out. Rockcliffe's out. Lockie Hunter's out as well, suspended. So not many to choose from as much for them. Who they get in, well, we'll see what they do. Possibly Blakely can come in. Lockie Whitfield's on the bench. Hawley's on the bench. So yeah, a few to choose from there. So that's why I know who's going to win. Well, me. Come on. Anyway. So let's move on to the next game now. It's Pickles Yum Yum versus Rangers Anonymous. So Pickles Yum Yum, 4 losses. Rangers Anonymous lost their last 4. It's last versus 6th. Look, so Pickles Yum Yum, they need a big name. They need a big name in, let's be honest. They need a very good.
Here he comes, wraps it up. one of 5 current day players who have kicked the bag of 10. He's done it twice. This for number 9. He's on his way. It'll take a miracle to stop him.
Chance to register that 10, runs around, gets the goal, and brings the house down.
Let's have a look at their team. Charlie Cameron is at full forward and against Taylor Walker. Now, once again, these teams are squads. Josh Kennedy is going to come to this team. He's got to come to this team at the moment. Jared Waite's in there as a half forward versus wingard. Kennedy, the other Kennedy, so there's 2 Josh Kennedys in this team, so miracles all around, versus Nat Fife. Kate Simpson against Tom Mitchell. Dylan Shield against Jared Polak. Nick Nat up against no one at Carlton versus Stephen Martin. Luke Hodge against Zahar Atkes. Ben Cunnington is up against Scott Selwood, who had like 9 tackles in the first quarter and died in the arse. And then the interchanges so far are Boak versus Bontempelli. Substitutions not choose yet because these people have not looked at their team just yet. What are the options? Well, so Pickles Young, as we said, will bring in Josh Kennedy. Dane Beams is also an option there. Luke Bruce is kicking goals. Here's another option. So there's a few team people to choose from in that team. Even Mitch Wallace, he might do alright. Who knows? Luke Bruce might even be his tackler. As for Rangers Anonymous, well, his options, Zach Merritt, I'm sure he's over his concussions, or apparently didn't have concussions. Tom Hickey may be a ruck this week because he's back. And I think Dion Prestia may make an appearance on Tuesday night. Steve Motlow's actually playing, not that either. So, who's going to win this game? My opinion, I think Sir Pickles Young was going to win their first game thanks to the return of Josh Kennedy. Alright, so let's do the next game. It's Top Guns versus Maltese Falcons. Top Guns a third. We've got win-win, loss-win. Maltese Falcons loss-win, loss-win. So, yeah, a few injuries as well for Maltese Falcons. They haven't really got many to choose from at the moment. They're running out of options. Let's have a look at the games. It's Jack Darley versus Jeremy Cameron. Jack Darley didn't have the usual high game he's had so far at the start of the season, but once again, Kennedy is back. Jeremy Cameron's been great, but he's being moved to full forward this week. Charlie Cameron is the half forward this week. He's up against Jack Rios. That's been changed around. It's an interesting move there by Fennick, but he's a 4-time champion, so he knows what he's doing. Clean Glow has been on fire. His average has come down. He's now only averaging 95 as a utility. He's up against Ed Kerno. Let's face it, Ed Kerno actually has played alright, but Maltese Falcons are running out of options. Callum Ward's the midfielder up against Dyson Heppel. Scott Pennery, he's the follower versus Seb Ross. Big Boy McAvoy up against Goldie this week. He's up, and Bell Chambers for Essendon. I think Essendon, who have they got? They've got, can't remember, it doesn't matter obviously. That's right, they've got Collingwood up against Brady Grundy. Halfback is Bryce Cruz versus Zach Tui. Interesting. Mitch Robinson's a tackler. He's up against Charlie Dixon. You're really running out of options, Fennick, aren't you? Well, Dixon, I'm sure he'll do alright. And the interchange at the moment is Cochin and Andrew Phillips. And Lockie Weller is playing this week, so he may be another option there. Who are his options on the bench? Well, Tim Member is back. He may have a game. Mitchell Govern's back. Liam Jones is there as well. My God, Fennick. Have a forward, mate. Who's not playing at the moment for Top Guns? Well, Joe Danaher's not in the team. Might step up for Anzac Day. Ryan Griffin, he had a good game last week. Nathan Jones, he did do a tagging role, but still didn't do too bad last week. And Townsend and Curtis are also other options there as well. Look, too many losses. In fact, Top Guns are in form. I think Top Guns are going to win that one. So let's have a look at it. Well, this is one spectrum to the other. It's second on the ladder. It's Gods Olympus. 4 wins versus I'm Rolling. 4 losses, Melly. What do you reckon? Yeah, you look like you're having fun. Alright, so let's have a look at the team. Well, for full forwards, it's Jeffy Garlett. Didn't do too much last week. He's up against Dan Menzel. Menzel had a great game, 5 goals. So he's averaging almost 30 as a full forward. So good effort there. The half forwards is Tom Lynch up against Jared Ruffhead. Ruffy's doing alright, and he's kicking more goals than he has been lately. So he's doing not too bad. Utilities, well, Martin and Sidebottom, both players are in form, so that should be pretty good. But both aren't going to play till Wednesday, or Tuesday and Wednesday anyway. The midfielders is Jack McRae versus Andrew Gaff. Lockie Nils, the followers, versus Ollie Wines. The ruckman, Dawson Simpson, gets a game. He's up against Sam Jacobs. Rory Laird, the halfback, versus Heath Shaw. Could be an interesting matchup, that one. And Menengold, the tackler, versus Hugh Greenwood. Shoes on the bench and Hibbert's also on the bench. Options, well, Coley loses Sloan this week. He has got options with Reece Stanley. Isaac Smith, he's lost Popple as well. He didn't play too bad last week as well. As for Gods of Olympus, well, Jack Maroon's an option. Jake Lloyd's an option. Degoe, he's back. He might be an option as well. Other than that, yeah, probably got his best side in there. Don't change the winning team. 4 and zip. Luke Shrew might come in against Carlton, but he may be also, I think he's under injury cloud, so who knows. Who's going to win that one? More misery piled on collar this one. It's going to be Gods of Olympus. And finally, last game of the season, it's Seek and Destroy. Another team has not lost yet, 4 wins, versus Renegades. After a soul-searching training regimen, whatever it is that they've done throughout the week, I love Singapore, all that stuff, Renegades got the win last week. So these 2 and 2, win-loss, win-loss. So pretty good there. You alright? Okay, so let's have a look at the teams. Toby Green being great, full forward. Feel like he's wasted a full forward, mind you. Up against Jack Gunston, who's doing better. Could win this week, Jackie. Come on, boy. Half forward is Jesse Hogan versus Jack Zeeble. Interesting move. Utility is Luke Parker and Brody Grundy. Averaging over 100 is utility. Jack Stevens is the midfielder versus David Swallow. Shane Savage is the follower. He's up against Trelaw, or he can kick. If efficiency was anything to go by, he wouldn't get a good score. The big ruckmans. Max Gorn, 71 points as a ruckman last week. He's up against Jared Witts, who will be up against Stephen Martin. So pretty interesting matchup that one. Interesting halfback choice here. Witherden comes in for Seek and Destroy. He's up against Hurley. Clayton Oliver is a tackler, being great as a tackler all season, up against Paddy Cripps. And the interchanges at the moment, obviously squads, Aaron Hall and Brendan Goddard there, as well as Jago O'Meara. Choices, well, Seek and Destroy can obviously use Jenkins there. They've got Jake Stringer, had a good game in the forward line. Other than that, not many other options to choose from. As for Renegades, well, Devin Smith's been great as a tackler, averaging 39 as a tackler apparently. John Patton's been pretty good. Liam Shields last week, 31 possessions, 14 tackles, been fantastic. And Jack Billings and what's his name? Jack Watts is also there as options as well. Who's going to win that one? I don't know. I reckon Seek and Destroy will change their team around a fair bit. I reckon Renegades might get the win, but there'll only be one team left undefeated after this week. So I just want to, once again, there's teams for Tuesday and teams for Wednesday have not been chosen yet. So choose wisely. There is a substitution there in place. There's no rolling lockout. So if your player doesn't get picked for these games, bad luck. Anyway, everyone, good luck and go me. Millie, go me. You can go. Go. She's gone.